Daniel, man, you were out there in Las Vegas. Just the atmosphere had to be absolutely phenomenal there, night one of WrestleMania. Just general comments of, the atmosphere, like I said, and just of night one in general for WrestleMania.
Well, before I get to that, I do want to give a big shout out to the team, TNA, for Unbreakable. We did on Thursday night before WrestleMania, but also not to I don't want to get too emotional, but the fact that I got to see Chris Bay for the first time since the last time I saw him in the ring when the accident happened was a phenomenal moment, and we just hugged and embraced forever, and that made my whole entire trip. I mean, that was most important than anything in this hot tire that happened at night, happened this weekend, and I'm just gonna throw that out there. So love you, Bay. I'm so thankful you're back on your feet, and he's the man. So yes, yes, clap, clap,
Yep.
Love
applause.
you, baby. Love you, baby.
So I just had to throw that out there because I was emotional wreck for about 30 minutes when I saw him. So worth it though, 100% worth it. Night one though, WrestleMania was great. I enjoyed it myself. I mean, there was things that I thought stood out there for sure. And it's what stood out the most. We'll talk about the ending in a minute. I don't want to jump ahead, but the fact that Jay and Gunther put on a phenomenal opener was the right match to open that show, open night one. And man, what a yeet fest that was for 60,000 people. And we'll talk more about this, I'm sure. But the fans in Vegas were a little odd back and forth on things, and I'm surprised that they stayed Yeaton because of everything else. You would think they probably would go with Gunther, but it was awesome experience. I'm happy for Jay, and yeah, and it was definitely it set the tone for the weekend for me, and I was ready for the rest of the week for the rest of the weekend for sure.
Yeah, it was
Well,
very interesting. Like you said, on night one, um, there were times where I thought the audience, the crowd live there in Vegas was trying to steal Toronto's gimmick of being Bizarro World,
Right.
uh, cheering for the heels and booing the baby faces and that sort of thing, because, we're famous for that up here. But you're right. I thought that was a good call for the opener. I think people were a little too critical of the matches. I thought the matches
Yeah,
pretty much all delivered.
they did.
It almost felt like the audience was waiting for something as
Yeah.
opposed to sitting back and enjoying what they were witnessing live.
Right, right, and and I know we talked about in our preview of what we're looking forward to. I'm just going to say Jade and Naomi, I thought killed it. I thought they did a phenomenal job. So I was happy that that match turned out as good as it did. It just was overall like I was excited. To watch the show, and I thought it was a great night one leading you into night two. And again, we haven't got to the main event part of it, which was the best story of all time. But yeah, it was great. Brian, what do you think?
well, boys, I hate to be Debbie Downer. I thought that the main event saved night one because the rest of it for me was nothing special. It didn't even feel like Mania to me. It felt like a Raw with 40 more thousand people. Not saying the matches were bad, but there was just nothing special to me. There was nothing special. They were acceptable. Now, I will admit, I was out of town watching my son play ball, and I was in and out. I wasn't completely tuned in as I was at night two, but I saw enough, and I could just tell you, just from my experience, there were matches that just didn't need to be there. That maybe pushed me away from some of that stuff, like the tag, the New Day tag. For what? And why? It's that kind of stuff. I thought it was okay. I just didn't think it was a great night. It didn't feel like WrestleMania to me. Not until the main event. The main event made me completely forget what I was not ingested in for the first 2.5 hours, 2 hours. And that's just my opinion. Y'all's is very, very viable. I get it. Just me, nothing really, just like Tiffany and Charlotte looked like that they didn't want to work together. They looked like they were working against each other. It just looked like two individuals that have some sort of friction, which obviously then they may. And it just looked like it was not. Charlotte wasn't into it. Tiffany wasn't. It just, I don't know. It just, The match itself was awful. I thought it was awful. I did not think it was a good match at all. Awful. The tag was okay, but again, Jade and Naomi was okay. It wasn't special WrestleMania moment that I'm never going to forget. That, and like if you compare to last year to me, night one versus night one this year, it absolutely blew it away. So I don't know, and we'll get to night two, but my gosh, Doug, when we get to it, the triple threat match, wow, wow.
Well, why don't we go there now, guys?
Well, hang on real quick. I do want to say
yeah.
this. So we're talking about the main events before we go into night two. The main event of that night was, so, I mean, the storytelling at its finest, which I remember we predicted of things or whatever, and I said this is, and I mentioned, and I think you all kind of agree, this is the best storyline going in WWE, period.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Yeah.
proved to be that with the drama between and Heyman turning on both Punk and Roman, and the way it was done, the way it was laid out, where you turn on Punk first, and it was like you made me choose. It makes Roman go, all right, got you, and then next thing you know is like, go ahead, take your shot. This is the Shield 2.0. We take it, push him aside. Nope. Then he screws him over. Right? What in the world's going on? So he didn't see it coming. It was where when he first grabbed the chair to go to slide it in, I was thinking, is he going to slide it all the way over to Roman, like, or
Mm.
Right.
the
Right.
Rollins? Like, is that how he's going to do it? Which that would have been that was not the way to do it. And my first thought was that was what was going to happen. But looking at the way it was laid out was perfect. You screw the one, then you screw the other, and no one seeing it coming.
And Daniel, like you
Amazing.
just said, he did it with a freaking chair.
Right.
Chair,
Yeah.
We're all wondering what's going on because of a chair.
yeah, for the chair,
It's wild.
and
The other
go ahead, Jimmy. I'm sorry.
No, the thing that's beautiful about this whole thing is like everybody, not everybody, but there were a lot of people predicting, oh, I could see Paul Heyman siding with Seth Rollins.
Yeah,
And now they're bragging about, I got it right. I got it right. You may have
yeah,
got the right
right.
ending, but at the same time, you didn't see how it was going to end.
Exactly. And that's the
That
same
was
way with me.
beautiful.
I had the
Yeah.
ending, but I didn't have that. I
Right.
knew he was going to side, but I didn't have that reason. And what I liked about it is that when he took out Punk, or when he turned his back on Punk, his reasoning behind that was, you made me choose.
Hmm.
You made me choose between my tribal chief and you. That's why I did this. And then when he turns on Roman, it was the fact that, well, I'm lining with Seth because, you know, you're the one. Of course, we found out later, you're the one that did this to me. You pushed me down on Raw. You did this stuff or whatever.
Hmm.
You did this. So why would I side with you when you wasn't there for me, or you treated me like crap? So it's all these
They,
little story
yeah,
layers,
they gave us reasons. He
reasons.
gave us
Yes.
reasons in everything he did throughout that whole thing. It was incredibly laid out. I know Brian said it saved the night. I think it just it was a cherry on top. That's for sure.
Mm.
I'm going to backtrack a little bit, Brian. I didn't mind the Tiffany Charlotte match only because uh, they were throwing some bombs in there.
Well,
They were
no, I
throw-
mean,
and I,
no,
and I'm just no, I'm just giving a little bit of the tip of the hat to Tiffany from being able to hang.
yes,
She
yes.
got her tooth chipped. She had that little knot on her forehead or whatever the heck it was. So, I'm just giving her hats off for hanging in there and being tough because I don't, a lot of people didn't know if she had it in her. And guess what? We found out that she can hang.
See, my only negative thing behind that match was, I thought the match was great. My only negative thing, and I think I told you guys this, is that they both were wearing the same color
Similar.
Mhm.
pink.
Yeah.
And the issue is that we all know who Charlotte and Tiffany is. We can see the differences, but if you have a casual fan turning it on and watching it, you need something completely different, because they both have blonde hair, they both have a similar look, they both have this color pink on. They both it's all you need is, and since what's her name had the Barbie thing going on, she gets the pink. Charlotte, take the blue and go with blue and pink, and then at that moment you already know who the two people are. You already have two different people, and that was the most thing that took away from me, is that should have been. I can't believe it was approved, but that's, who knows. I mean, maybe they just said, forget it, it's Mania, and do wear what you want. I don't know.
The only reason I'm curious about that is because it's not the first time it's happened with these two. Because even
Yeah,
the night where they had the infamous promo where they did the shoot back and forth, they were dressed similarly then
yeah,
as
no,
well.
it's true.
So I don't know if it's them trying to say, "Hey, you're the past, I'm the present, I'm the new Charlotte of the W," or something like that. I don't know. It just seems funny that they would be dressing. I think that was if I'm not mistaken, the third time that they were dressed similarly.
Right.
And again, there's little differences. Charlotte was blue and pink, and she was more pink and I guess white or clear. But it's still it's the matter of
Close
still
enough.
too close, too close.
So let me point this out. I think that we now on our panel have a new Tommy Dreamer who has never seen anything bad in his life. That would be you, Daniel.
What are you talking about?
That was not a good match. It wasn't.
I didn't say it was good. I said it didn't bother me.
No,
I said it was. I said the thing that bothered me. I said I liked the match.
You know this is recorded, right?
Did I say it was a good match?
Yes, you did.
Oh well, whatever. But
Okay.
you got what you got.
We're gonna have to change your last.
I'm not mad at you if that's how you feel. Like
Daniel Switzerland.
I mean, I wasn't, but I wasn't during the match. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, this is the worst thing. I actually, believe it or not, I wasn't into Jacob Fatu and LA Knight like I thought I was.
Me either. Me either.
So yeah, and I thought I would be more into that than I was in this match.
Why?
I
What
don't
was
know.
it about the match that you weren't into?
Any of it. Any of it.
I just felt I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. It just did not on paper and everything. You know what? There was no build.
There you go. There was no reason for this match.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's it. I mean, how can I invest in something when I have nothing to invest in?
And you have a guy who's supposedly over as much as LA Knight is in the ring with a guy like Jacob Fatu who is going to get cheered.
Yes.
So right there, you've got a conflict.
Big step back for LA Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Big step back. And guys, I want to say, I'm not saying that the Tiffany and Charlotte match wasn't stiff. I mean, that was the best part about it. But after that, there was much to be desired. But anyway, we'll move on from that. But the one thing I will say, this was probably one of the best triple threats that I've maybe, I have to go back and think, ever seen.
Yeah.
It was just so well placed. It was layered so well with story. Go ahead.
I was going to say, wait till we get to night 2 because but we'll get to night 2.
There was
yes,
I know where you're going. And I agree with it. I'm talking about men's.
Yep. Okay.
They slowed enough to tell the stories, but it didn't feel like it was slow, if that makes sense. They all looked good in this one. Every one of them looked good. Nobody looked bad. Nobody lost their steam. And it was just a captivating, and I kept looking for the word all day, and it just hit me. That's so funny. It was a captivating match that never left anything on the table except wanting more. And that's what led us to night 2. Mm-hmm. Thank God, because I'm just being honest. And I have very good things to say about night 2. So don't get me wrong. I'm not negative. I'm not trying to beat up on WWE. I just did not enjoy night 1 until the main event.
I was one of those that, again, I enjoyed night 1. I didn't think, I mean, great.
Tommy Dreamer did too.
Nope. I knew night 2 was going to be, I knew night 2 was going to be better than night 1. But you got to but night 1 is, if I go in thinking night 1 is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life,
you're not going to come back for 2.
Right. Exactly. So
Tommy even said this could have been the best WrestleMania of all time. If I don't remember what. Oh, we'll get to that too. But what the Rocket showed up.
Can we give a few more shout outs from night 1 too?
Sure. Yeah.
Shout out to Jay, of course.
Jay Uso.
I thought Gunther tapped out a little too soon, but I don't know if that was a.
But there's a history. Thing. There's a history with that too, though.
That's true. There's a
history.
Still,
with that.
it just felt.
It did.
It felt a little.
I thought that as well until we saw Monday Night Raw, and now I kind of.
It makes sense.
Makes a little sense.
True. Which leads me to something from night 2.
Also thought one thing in the main event that I wish, his timing is always perfect. I do think right before Heyman low blowed Roman, he jumped a little early. I think he should have teased a little more like he is with him, and then wait till Roman lifts the chair up before he goes down and does it. I think it would have been even better. It's just a little thing. It's still great.
I agree, Daniel. But I tell you,
thing.
Can you imagine that fucking that up timing wise and on that stage? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. Hey, that's why I would rather you be early
than miss it.
100%. Yeah. So I'm okay with it. I just was like, if we're nitpicking, but again, it still was amazing the way it was put off. So we're literally just nitpicking. It was.
Daniel, listen, I noticed it as well, but then I thought about it. I'm like, well, fuck. If I were him, I'd rather be early. I am not screwing this up.
100%.
Yeah.
And he took his time with the little wiggle
And the
he did it.
facials as he was
The-
doing
the-
it, the
Well, that's
facials
why,
as he
and
was doing it.
that's why I think the wiggle happened because the chair was there, and he probably was like, "I went early, but I want to let people know that I'm freaking doing this,"
Right.
And I think
Right.
Yeah.
that's a smart
You're right.
smart mind of Heyman to like, I want to put this over even bigger than it is since
Right.
I
I think I
had to
know I'm
jump
early.
early.
I
Yeah.
know I'm early, but I'm
Yeah,
going to put this over and I'm going to give them the best facials they've ever seen in their life.
yeah.
Also a little bit of a hats off to El Grande Latte.
That
Oh,
was great.
great. I
Yeah.
did enjoy that. I did enjoy that.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
did.
Okay. I got to retract. You hit something back in this 2-year-old mind. Yes,
Mhm.
I did enjoy that. I did. I did.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm
Let's
just
get to night
upset.
two.
I'm pissed off that Chad Gable didn't get a match.
I know he did. He
Man.
was in the Memorial Battle Royal thing, so
How do
Yeah,
they?
but still,
He's not on the main show, though. Come on.
I know he should
damn.
have been. Chad
Yeah,
Gable's
well.
great.
All right,
Uh,
RJ.
night
Uh,
two. Let's do it.
So night two, I just want to give a little more context because to get it out of the way. Between night two and night one, they did a total 2 day total of 124,693 people allegedly. That
That's
was
it?
reported.
That's
They
it.
did
Boy,
63.
they're
They did
hurting.
60. Yeah, they did 63 226 night two, 61 467 night one. But all in all, it's that's it. Must have done something right.
Plus, you got to
Uh,
add in stand and deliver. You got to put in
Raw probably down the road.
SmackDown, Raw. I
Yeah,
mean,
if I'm sure somewhere they're going to have a graphic of all the people that attended all the entire events, of what that total will be, and I'm sure it's over 200,000.
oh yeah,
Well, it's got to be that wrestler. What's it called? Wrestle World or something? WWE
Yeah,
World.
there's that, and
Yeah.
then well, I mean, again, you have NXT that, as we're recording this tonight. You had Raw last night, so when all this gets done, they'll put out the total of the entire people that went to every, and they're only going to track their events, let alone TNA, all the collective stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and WrestleCon and all that. I mean, there was over 250 probably thousand people in town just for this Mania weekend.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah.
Yep.
But we talked about one triple threat that ended the night. We had one that started the night here. Guys, this was one of those matches that in my household, there's only two people that watch wrestling. It's myself, my son Gavin. You guys know that. My wife was invested in this triple threat match that kicked off WrestleMania because she liked these three women. So you can grab her, you can grab anybody, but Jimmy, man, this was what do we normally say? A banger after banger of a match.
No, absolutely, and it speaks volumes because, like you said, your wife is not a fan, and she
Mm-hmm.
was invested. She bought in, and she was. I'm sure she was reacting to what we were seeing, and similarly to night one, the ladies all looked good. Nobody suffered. Nobody got a setback from this match. They all looked good. They all sold well. They all they all shined. And that finish, the timing on that finish was absolutely, as someone used to say from Minneapolis, Minnesota, absolutely perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was
Well, Daniel,
amazing.
since you were excited about this one, I'll let you go next.
Yeah, this is probably, I think somebody else said it on another talk show. This might be the greatest, one of the if not one of the, it's definitely one of the top WrestleMania matches of all time, let alone triple threat. You had a great triple threat the night before, then you turn around and had this one to back it up, and I think they basically looked at Seth Roman and Punk and said, "Hold my beer," is what they did, because they literally killed it. And the storytelling, the layout of the match. I mean, I don't know who laid this out. I feel like it might be a Petey Williams. I don't know. It could be somebody else, and I'd be shocked. It could be Jason Jordan too. Whoever produced this match, let me tell you what, they nailed it with everything, and that finish was chef's kiss. Amazing.
I'm going with Hurricane.
Hurricane, okay, I can. Well, Hurricane, I'm sure had the Logan Paul match, so that's where.
Well, yeah,
But
There might be a little bit of a TJ influence in there as well.
that's true.
possibility, yeah. Oh, you know what? It is the
Yeah, because
girls.
he works a lot with the girls. Yeah.
It is the girls. You know what? Whoever it was, they deserve a big payday because they also helped kill this this layout, because it's all about. I mean, the girls can come up with. I'm sure the girls came up with a lot of their own stuff. Don't get me wrong, but it's all about that extra producer agent to help like put everything to make it make sense. Sometimes a little extra things that three people are not thinking about. And they go, oh, but I'm telling you that it. This is a match that not many matches I will watch again from this WrestleMania. This is one I will definitely watch again.
Why not,
And
Tommy? I mean, Daniel.
what are you talking about? I there's things I did not like about the show and I liked, and I told you.
Okay, all right. I'm just trying to get used to the new Tommy.
Okay.
Real
Well,
quick.
I
Wait a
liked
minute.
the
Wait a minute.
show.
Whoa,
I
whoa, whoa,
liked
wait
it
a minute.
all.
Wait a minute. So if Daniel's the Tommy, obviously since
You're
RJ's
the Bubba.
no, I can't be the Bubba.
He can't be the
Oh,
Bubba.
no, it's
What's that?
Brian's. Brian's the Bubba for sure. You're the Mark Henry.
I'm the Mark Henry.
Yeah, you'd have to
I'll
be the
take
Mark
that.
Henry.
I'll take that.
Or even Corbin.
He's
What?
too new. He's too new. He's got to be Mark Henry.
He's too new.
I actually love Corbin. I actually
Actually,
love him.
he's great on the show. But
He really is.
we're getting off track here.
We
We're
are.
getting off track.
So let's get back to it. All right. So EO winning made so much sense to me. Not only that, but I will say this to touch on Daniel correcting me. This is the best three-way I've ever seen by women. It was the best women's three-way triple threat I've ever seen. Like y'all said, it was. I think you're right, Daniel. I think that the girls watched that night one and went, guys, girls, we got to get our shit together. We can't not let this show us up. And I could tell they were working with some kind of a passion. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You could just tell
they were there to say, look, we're opening the show and we're gonna make everyone have to follow us, and we're gonna make it hard for everyone to follow us, and they did.
Right.
Because the night two was great. There was a lot of great stuff, but you had to follow that the entire time. So
Yes.
I think there's another thing they said was, you're going to remember this. You're going to remember this.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well,
But the thing is, too, going into it with the, follow that, guys, everybody tried. It lit a fire under everybody's ass.
And I will say, I mean, everyone did try it. Everyone did a great, this whole. Okay, night two was way better than night one, for sure. The ending, we're gonna talk when we get to the main event. I have different things about that are probably different from you all.
I think we all will.
Probably not.
But shout out. But I thought Drew and Priest did great. I thought it was a great street fight, and I hate street fights. So the fact that they made me like it, kudos to them. But guys, the four-way for the IC title.
Yeah. Again, another multi-person match, which I was always going, we don't need so many multi-people matches, but you talk about a finish coming off perfectly. That's another one too. The timing involved in that, and the risk factor.
Yeah. And the fact that you had Dom pinning Finn.
Well, I remember
not only that, but was it not the second biggest pop of both nights?
Yeah.
They went berserko.
I think I texted you all in our group chat, and I said they're behind Dom. Like Dom was doing. He would hit. As soon as he would hit, they would cheer, and then they would hit him, and they would boo. I'm like, oh my goodness, Dom is over.
Let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah.
So we all know it's a gathering of 63,000 of smart fans is all that is. It's a gathering of smart fans. Where does this go now when the smart fans are now the common day fans for, like, say, Friday Night SmackDown? Does he get cheered or booed?
Well, I don't know. I think you're going to try, but I believe they teased on Monday Night Raw that Finn gave this look like, I think Finn's going to turn. And when Finn turns, it's over. It's the same thing that happened with Rhea Ripley and Priest. They were getting cheered in this heel group. They had to break them apart. So I look, Dom. We all know from how amazing Dom is. Like, yes, he can see he actually is really good at what he does in the ring and outside the ring. He's amazing.
And we got to watch him grow up in front of our eyes.
Well, you all did. I didn't, but yes. Well,
Literally, like from when he first started wrestling. Of course, I know when he was a kid,
Yeah.
Going to the
Mhm.
arenas and then literally getting in the ring. We all got to watch that
And he
partially.
Right.
gets it. He gets it. If you've seen him in real life and interviews and stuff when he's out of character, he gets it. He knows it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the fans are seeing that, and it's an organic thing where they're like, I don't want to boo this guy. This guy's great, and I think it's just going to happen. I have a feeling they're going to try to keep him heel as long as they can, but it's just they're going to have to do what they did with Damian and Bria. They're going to have to switch it.
Also
And
depends on
my
how he acts, though, right, Jimmy?
Yeah, and my question is, obviously in Vegas, people were behind him in a positive way.
Mm-hmm.
When did that start? Like you talk about organically, what
Yeah,
was he starting to get those cheers before they got to Vegas?
not
I,
much to
I think
me.
No,
they.
I don't think
I think he was.
it was like smatterings.
If you look at the overseas stuff, he wasn't booed as much over there that he was. They were kind of like they were more booing the situation, not booing him.
But see,
Hmm.
don't you kind of see that though, Daniel? Is a little different with the overseas crowd. Like, so I didn't measure it that way. You know what I mean?
I know, but then you look at someone like Cody who was cheered going nuts during the overseas crowd, and then this crowd hated his guts. So
Yeah,
it's
I called that. I called it.
it's wow. I'm my prediction is he will be a baby face by SummerSlam.
Dominant.
Okay.
Dominic, you mean, correct?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Dominic. Yeah.
Yes, okay.
So if we go back and look, guys, we start off night one. I mean, night two. I'm sorry. EO and the triple threat.
Hmm.
Boom. We go into Drew beating Damian. Boom. We go into the triple threat with Dom going over. Boom. Or full way, sorry. Randy and Joe Hendry. We haven't touched on that yet. But that was another boom. Logan Paul and AJ. I loved. Boom. You see what I'm saying comparative to night one.
No, I get that. Yes,
Mm.
but I think that's the whole point. If you go back to go back to the year before, night two is always the better show because it
Right.
has to be. It
Yes,
is.
Yeah.
I get that. They're going to put the lesser matches on night one. I get that.
Hmm.
But I'm saying it just did it feel like Mania to y'all night one? Honestly,
It
that's not a
yes,
question.
it did. It did to me. I'm sorry.
It didn't.
The atmosphere made it feel like Mania.
Atmosphere did,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
match wise,
But how many times have we watched a 7 hour WrestleMania back before it was two nights and we're like, oh, this match, okay. And there's matches you don't
The
care
bell
about.
rings. The bell rings,
Yeah.
and you get off the couch. Go. Oh, what did I miss?
Yeah.
Right.
no, and I get all that.
I
I
got.
get all that.
So go
I
ahead.
don't want to. I don't want to step on Daniel's toes here, but because you mentioned it, Brian. Randy Orton was looking for an opponent,
Yeah.
and you say his name, and he appears. I just want to address the people out there who are going crazy and going, "Oh, this was. I can't believe they did that to him. He's their champion, and he got pinned by guys." Daniel, I'm sorry if I'm stepping on your toes here,
Okay.
but Joe Hendry was seen at WrestleMania facing a first ballot Hall of Famer, a
Mm.
14-time world champion, in front of millions of people worldwide. And again, with all due respect, probably getting the most visibility he's ever had and for the company. And people are saying this is a bad thing. It
Right.
doesn't matter
The people
whether
are
he won or not. It's not the point here. The point is he made it to WrestleMania when others have not.
let's put it this way. People are stupid if they think this. Bottom line is this. This the our champion, as you said, got a spot where where 63,000 people went banana when he came
Mhm.
out singing his theme song.
Yes.
He's walking down with the TNA title strapped around. You see it big with a big graphic that said TNA champion Joe Hendry comes out, does his whole stick, does his thing, comes in the ring, has a match, has a shine moment, and it's where Randy sold for him. And then yes, Randy hits the RKO, 1, 2, 3, does his pose, does his whole thing, gets him up, has him look around, does a spot at the end, hits him with the RKO again. All right. Here's the thing. We found out the next night. Huh. The guy that just beat our champion is now going after their number one, the GOAT, the
Hmm.
greatest of all time, the 17th time world heavyweight champion. He's now
Right.
feuding with him, and he just beat our champion, who also, I, I'm pretty confident Joe is going to be okay, and I'm also pretty confident that TNA is going to be even more okay for what just happened. These are the kind of things that you overthink. And if the rumors are true that there was things that were going to happen a few weeks ago that got overlooked, got shut down because people were overthinking, then I'm so glad this got done because now people are going to want to watch. They have a pay-per-view Rebellion. Oh, he's taking on this guy named Frankie Kazarian. I remember seeing this guy. Oh, wait, he's taking on Ethan Page. Wasn't he also just in NXT? Oh, he is in NXT. Now there's eyes on the product even more, and I would be shocked if we have a huge turnout, not turnout, but buy right for Rebellion because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're doubting that decision that they made, you are a fucking mark. That's what you are. You're a mark. Do you think anybody's going to remember that Joe Hendry won or lost? No, they're going to remember that he was at Wrestle freaking Mania for TNA.
And it's a WrestleMania moment that'll live on forever. And guess what?
And a meme that'll live forever.
Guess what? Guess what other big WrestleMania moment lives on forever? And the guy lost. Actually, he lost so bad he passed out. And that's Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Right.
And that made his career. So
if you want to bitch and bleed, you're a mark. You need to understand the way the business works.
Speaking of Stone Cold.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, guys. I mean, I'm just passionate and
start selling.
I hear it. Yeah.
I was very proud for TNA. Very proud. I was.
Yeah.
And Daniel hit it on the head. All these people knew all his shit. They knew all of it. And I was just like, look at this, man. I'm like, look at this. Like I got goosebumps.
And Randy doing his little shtick too was actually a good thing, not a bad thing. Randy wasn't making fun. It wasn't burying him. Randy doing it was a good thing because it shows that even Randy knows the shtick. And if Randy knows it, maybe I should know it too.
Right.
Did anybody catch Randy Orton during Joe Hendry's entrance when
he was head bobbing to it?
He was bobbing to the music.
Yeah.
Yes.
To his entrance music.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So I wanted to hit one more point before we go up to our referee review. If you guys want to touch on something else, you feel free.
We do.
Oh,
we gotta talk about the main event. We gotta talk about the main event, and we also
no. That's where I'm going. No, that's where I'm going.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
We might need to get rid of ref and review this week.
Well, we might have to. Yeah. But guys, we want to talk about storytelling. This was another aspect of that, Brian, with Cena and Cody. Certain things could have done without, but overall, good match.
Okay. I'm going to do this. I want y'all to answer and don't give any reasoning behind your answer. Why was this match booked? Why were Cena and Cody going against each other?
Because Cena won the Elimination Chamber.
Okay. But why was it booked the way it was? Wasn't it because someone's soul?
The Rock.
Yeah. The Rock.
Okay. All right. So here's what I want to say. Did we get the answer for him selling his soul? No. Massive letdown with no Rock there.
Well,
wait a minute. I don't care what anybody says. It's a bunch of horse shit. I heard Rock on Pat McAfee. He's good enough to be on Pat McAfee, but he can't be there at WrestleMania just to tell us he didn't need to be there. It was about Cena and Cody. Then why was your shit in it to begin with? So to me, it was a major letdown. Instead, we get some rapper that I don't know, have heard none of his music, and his name is Travis Scott, who gave freaking Cody Rhodes basically a concussed eye or a contusion. And they use this idiot again. And this was okay to The Rock, according to his Pat McAfee stuff he said. It's ridiculous and stupid and horse shit.
Okay.
All right.
I don't understand. My whole computer kicked out. I must have screamed too loud.
So I'm gonna say this. Did we get to answer your question? I'm gonna come out at a different angle. I've heard all the chatter and all the complaints. Did we get the answer like to The Rock, him turning his soul, or him giving his soul to The Rock. We did. Why? Because he was able to get the 17th time. He was able to become and beat the record because of that reason. He may not have been able to do that being normal John Cena, the John Cena we know for the last 5 years. So by him doing that and having that edge and that turn, I can do whatever I want now because I got back from The Rock, and he's going to take me wherever I want to go, and he's going to allow me to do that and get help if I need help, let alone the help of Travis Scott. That's another story. We'll talk about that in a second. But so yes, to answer that,
Now, Daniel, real quick,
huh,
I missed what my whole computer system. I swear to God, shut down.
yeah.
What did you say? Just sum it up real quick there.
The reason the answer to though, did we get the answer as why he went with the Rock? Yes, because he won the title, and he did it in a way that we've never seen him win the title before because he cheated and he was dirty and how he won. So therefore, because he has the Rock's backup, he knows that if something were to happen, I could call on the Rock. I don't need to call on the Rock because now I got these dirty player things I can do.
And Travis
do
Scott,
that.
you're referring to the dirty.
Yeah,
No,
the back.
Please,
That's
please,
the one problem I had with
please,
this.
please.
The match itself, and I know people are going to say, "Well, it was slow and plot." By design, that match was completely different. It was structured in a way like when they started off slowly, little things that John Cena did that were so old school heel 101. Like he'd get pushed down and he'd walk out of the ring, he'd step out, you know what I mean? And
Yep,
just
yep.
little things like that. And the match itself, I didn't think was bad.
I didn't.
Nope.
I didn't have a problem
Yeah,
with the match.
until I saw what's his face at the top of the ramp taking 3 hours and 16 minutes to make it down to ringside.
With a replica hardcore belt that fucking Triple H gave him.
Anyways, I'm more upset at the fact that he didn't get a receipt from Cody, but because Cody's too much of a professional and a gentleman to do it on live television and pay per view.
But that's my argument on that.
No,
The Crossroads is his finish.
No, I get it. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. If Cena is going to be that heel, he needs someone like The Rock or The Rock's proxy to interfere on his behalf, other than him.
A
It had to be
wrestler or
someone-
something.
Yes, it had to be someone else who sold his soul. Other than that, I think John Cena could have won that match because they implemented, which we'll talk about later, the ref bumps. They implemented those. Cena could have used those to cheat and win, and then you wouldn't need Travis Scott at all.
You didn't need Travis Scott to begin with.
That's what I'm saying. You didn't need him.
I understand you didn't need him, but I understand why he was there because of what he does as far as the industry and the.
And I'm getting sick of that shit too. I'm not mad at you, Daniel, by the way. I'm just sick of this shit. All these celebrities, I don't even know, man. Who cares you're starting on a show on Netflix?
I know we don't know, but the demographic that they're catering to does. And that's
okay, good. Okay, good. Let's just have a.
But I mean, but that's what that brings in the more money. That's like Triple H said in his press conference, celebrities are reaching out to them wanting to do stuff where it used to be they would have to reach out and go, okay, I guess we can do it. And these guys know wrestling and reach out to them. So it's a different world for sure than it was 15 years ago, 10 years ago,
And also
5 years
Daniel
ago.
real quick, hitting the crossroads was not a receipt, brother. That's a working move.
But I know it's a working move.
Not getting punched in the face.
But here's my logic on that. We're putting over that it's the finish, and when you hit that, it's done, right?
What's a receipt for the crowd to respond to? Not me and you.
Yeah.
If I did that to you, that's not a receipt. You'd be like, "What a weak son of a bitch he is."
Yeah.
I'll take that, and I'll smack him again.
And I don't know if that's the whole good guy, bad guy thing that Bubba keeps talking about. That is he going to be? Maybe he's like, I'll make him my finish, but I'm not going to go dirty on him because I'm not a dirty person or whatever. So,
and it would kill his character, guys. Honestly, Jimmy, as mad as me and you want him to smack him the fuck up.
Well,
if he did that, come on, that kills Cody's his
of
gimmick,
course,
you know.
Of course.
Go ahead, Daniel. I'm sorry. I'm so
no,
mad.
I mean, he did hit his finish.
So mad.
He did hit his. I get you want him to punch him and smack him or kick him in the nuts. I get all that, but he did hit his finish, and supposedly that is the move that kills you. So, I mean, take this out. Try this. If it was Steve Austin and he with the stunner, would you be saying the same thing? He didn't punch him, but he hit him with the stunner.
Yes, because he can hold his face down and let him hit his shoulder, his chin on his shoulder, and go boom and jack his teeth up. Yeah, he could. I would rather. I'll take the crossroads all day, every day, 7 days a week.
Okay, all right.
It's not to be argumentative. I'm saying
I'm just saying it's a finisher move, so it's like it's no difference than to me if Steve Austin hit a stunner, everyone would be like he got his receipt, but the crossroads is the finish. Actually, you're slamming your head on the mat when you flip him over. So you know, I don't know. I I get I
Yeah.
get what you all wanted. I get what everybody wants, and I get it. But he at least got his hands on him and got to do something to him. It ain't like he did. He just stood there, you know, like a pussy, and just stood there and let him do whatever.
I,
So
right.
no, I get that point. I just wanted to see the receipt. That's all.
Me too. Me too. I'll pay for that. And
Personal satisfaction.
I hope he takes up Bully Ray's challenge for the what is it? What do you call it? The
Slap
smack
fight.
slap fight. Bully would smack his fucking little head off.
No, he's not doing that. Don't no.
No.
He knows better.
So just your thoughts. We've always years after years, the Raw after WrestleMania has always been the big to do. General thoughts, because we really got to get to our ref and review. But well, Brian, general thoughts. We'll go around the horn of the Raw after WrestleMania.
I'm going to keep it short. It was phenomenal. It was great. I loved it. I loved Raw. I loved Raw this past Monday. I thought the new directions, the new stories they're going to, it was like a reset to a season. I thought was phenomenal, and that's all I'm gonna say. I just thought it was great, and I think that I like the ride we're starting already. So nothing bad to say. Nothing to me.
What's there to complain about? All the stuff we saw on Raw. I mean, Randy Orton hitting Cena with the RKO out of nowhere. Perfect. Becky turning on Laya. Now I understand what happened on Saturday. I mean, on Sunday, the day before, when they won the titles. I was confused by it, but now I understand it. Makes sense. Like I tell everybody, be patient. Maybe I should take my own advice. I love the little seed planted with Jay and Sammy,
Yes.
because you saw Sammy standing behind him before Jimmy came out.
Yes.
And there was that little bit of a tense moment where you're going, oh, he's giving a little look. And of course, Braun Breaker, we've got the new Dangerous Alliance being formed.
Yeah. Love
Great
it.
stuff.
Nothing. Probably the best Raw after Mania in years. Love the Cena promo into the RKO. Love the Becky turn. Also throw this out there. I think Becky's the one that took out Bailey. That's why I gave her that spot. I think that story will be told later. That's just my opinion. Love the Rusev return. Thought it was great. Thought, he just took out both teams because why not? Because he's Rusev. And love the Gunther stuff with McAfee
Yeah.
and
Oh,
Cole.
yes.
Thought that was an amazing segment.
He turned purple legit.
He did. Yep.
Mhm.
He's all in, man. McAfee's the best. Love the ending with everybody and then the added addition to Breaker and yeah, it was great.
It was a solid show, man.
Solid show.
Yeah, very solid.
SmackDown's got a lot to take out, a lot to to step
Ooh.
up
There's
this
some-
week.
do
But
we
the
see
TLC match is gonna be great. So
Do we see Cody on SmackDown?
No.
I think
we
I think
better not.
I think we do, but I think it's best if we don't. But I think we do.
You do, Daniel? You really
I,
think you?
I get why. I get why, but I'd love to see them wait and have people go, well, I want to hear from Cody. I want to hear what he's got to say.
I think
Well,
I think
what
at
about-
this point, because he was booed. I think you got to let him come out. You got to let him do it because I think the fans are going to turn on him when he's not there because they'll be like, he didn't even show up here.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to lead into more, unless that's the direction they're wanting to go. But I think you got to let him be there and let Cena not be there and say, look, your champion's not even here. So so I think you have to let Cody be there. That's my opinion.